Hello, can you hear me? You guys hear me all right? How you guys doing? Let's hope a little more people show up. Hope you guys have been doing all right. Hello. So, how was your guys' Memorial Weekend, or how's your week going so far? Hmm. Same old. Yeah. Well, I'm really starting to get used to the new job. So, how's mine? I'm going through Doom. That'll be what will. That's what the following stream after this is going to be. We're going to play some Doom. Uh, picked up a couple of around here somewhere. Picked up a couple of retro games. I've been playing that on PlayStation 3. A couple games I really wanted to play, but I didn't get to play them when I was back in the day. But I got them now, so I'm playing through those. Currently looking for launch PlayStation 3 that's compatible with the PlayStation 2 so I can actually start playing some PlayStation 2 games. I mean, I do have a adapter for my PlayStation 2 that goes to the TV, but much I would much prefer if it was just directly on a console. That way I can kind of condense the amount of consoles that I need to have out so I can have my 5 and 4 out and 3 and 3 can play with the 2 and some of the 1. You just finished Doom. Whoa, you platinumed it. What? Really? How long did it take you to platinum that? Really? Huh. What games am I playing? I'm currently playing Doom, and that's going to be the next review. Finished the audio recording for the next Versus Series matchup. Hopefully, I can get that up in a week, but I've just been kind of busy with a couple of things. Saw the new Mission Impossible for your graduation. Well, I hope you liked it. I saw it. I didn't really like it all that much, if I'm being honest. That movie did not need to be 3 hours. I'll tell you that much. A lot of it's not my favorite. What you have for dinner? I don't know. I haven't decided. Maybe I'll go out and get pizza or get a drink or something. I haven't decided. What retro games am I playing? What did I go pick up? I picked up Castlevania. Uh, I forgot what was it. I was like, yeah, I picked up Castlevania, and all right, what else did I get? I was like Castlevania. Oh yeah, picked up Castlevania, Doom 3, which I'd never played before, so I'm playing that. And I'm currently waiting on a copy of like a remastered version of Budokai's 1 and 3. They come like in a package. I'm waiting for that to get in. So those are the retro games I went back to, but I'm still trying to finish Doom. You're gonna see the new Final Destination? Okay, we'll have fun with it. It took you 33 hours to platinum it. Really? Do you have to play that on the hardest difficulty? Because I'm actually playing that on the hardest difficulty, and I'll tell you, it can get pretty tough, which is good. And I looked back at Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal, and I found that yeah, my first playthrough, I also picked hard. But yeah, it can definitely be quite challenging. So I'll give it that. Story is definitely a lot more flushed out than the prior two games, so that was definitely something. Hey, what's up, Rocket? How you doing? You finished Borderlands 3? Doom Upside Down is wood, and you went to go see Sinners. I still haven't seen that movie, and I don't think I will. That's just not my kind of movie. But I'm glad you enjoyed it. Hopefully, you still don't understand why they left Budokai 2. I don't know why. A lot of people don't talk about Budokai 2. That's the thing about the Budokai games. I hear people. like I think I dabbled in Budokai 2 a little bit, but no, like my favorite ones are usually the first one and the third one. Um, I don't know why. Did you know Star Wars Episode 9 was going to be called? Yes, I know it was going to be called Duel of Fates. Yes, yes, I know. I'm pretty well into the know when it comes to stuff like that. No, you don't have to play Doom. Okay, really? Oh, okay. Well, that really, I don't have to play it on the hardest difficulty. Okay, that's some serious encouragement. You think you played Budokai 2, but you might remember it wrong. Budokai 2 is miles better than 1. I don't know why. Again, I don't remember ever playing Budokai 1. I might have played it once and then moved on, but like my fond memories of the Budokai games, I have some sharp memories of playing the first game and the third game, but for some reason not the second game. I don't know why. Maybe they couldn't fit it in it. Maybe they couldn't fit. I don't know. Am I excited for Have I played Epic Mickey? No, I have not. Yeah, thanks. Oh, something else had happened. Got a new laptop right over there. It's an Omen, so that goes well with my Pavion. So now I have two gaming laptops. This one has a lot more space, like a hell of a lot more space. So I was able to play Halo on it, and I also picked up a new controller for PC. Something I didn't know about this, and the funny thing about this controller is it actually, okay, when it's working, it actually can, hang on, like when it's working, yeah, it's like, well, this one could light up. Yeah, it's got like a, I don't know. Something I didn't notice is that this one actually has a, I didn't even realize it was like a 117. I didn't even know that till I got the controller, and I got this for like $20, and I ordered it on Amazon. And I got it the same day, so now I have like a wireless controller for my PC to play Halo games. And I'll be honest, when Halo does come out for the PlayStation, I don't think I'll get it. Like if I can play it on my PC and it works just fine, my new laptop and it works really just fine, then I think I'll be good. So there's that. And I got like a new holder here for it. You can kind of see it. It's like right here. What did you skip my question? I don't know what you're talking about. Have I played Indiana Jones? No, I did not. I've not played that, and I'm still waiting on my copy for the one for PlayStation 5. That one still has not gotten here yet. Can I do a review of Halo 1, 2, and 3? I don't think I need to. I don't know what more I could add. Burst Limit and Infinite Worlds are fantastic. Would you eat poppers from Futurama? No, I would not. You finished Tokyo Ghoul season, it's okay. Yeah, I guess. What's wrong with Odyssey? We won't talk about that. let's move on. Let's not talk about that. I'm a subscriber. Your streaming question videos prepared to answer. Indigo Montana, the Princess Bride. Oh, Antonio Montana. Oh, I didn't do anything to him. I didn't kill that guy's father. That other guy did with the six fingers on his hand. Do a top 10 first person shooter games. I'm pretty sure I've done that. It'd be like Call of Duty, World at War, GoldenEye, Black. Pretty sure Doom 2016 and Titanfall. That would probably be the list. Has Odyssey become like? We don't talk about that. We won't talk about that. Do a favorite open world game. I feel like that. I don't know about open world. Open world's a bit hard to do. I don't think I could do it. I wouldn't know how to perfectly describe it, and it'd be a pretty messy list. And I'm still trying to come up with some ideas, but like more tier lists, since a lot of people don't really watch the top, and I'm still trying to work on the versus series matchups. So Hmm. I just reworded the quote to refer to the video. Yeah, yeah, I noticed. That's a great movie. Maybe we won't talk about that. Mm. The less said, the better. Favorite set. Wait, favorite power set in a game I played. What do you mean power set? What do you mean, Jackie? I don't. What do you mean power set? I don't. I'm not sure. Have I seen a trailer for a game called Mind's Eye? No, I haven't. Wait, Mind's Eye? I think so. I think that's on. I think that is on my GameFly list. It's like a third-person shooter. I think that and it's supposed to come out on like supposed to come out this month. I do think that is on my list. What would I change about Final Fantasy VI? I would take out four characters. I think that's the biggest problem that game has. It's got too many characters. It's got like 16 characters. I dropped that to like 12. Like a lot of them don't even show up to like the last 10% of the game, and that's too deep into the game to be adding characters. I've forgotten your thoughts about Rogue City. It's a great game. Uh, yeah, if you're hesitant about that RoboCop game, play it. I own it. I've played it. I've platinumed it. That is a great game. It's pretty solid on story, but in terms of gameplay and actually making it seem believable that enemies could be a serious threat to RoboCop, which was like my criticism going in, they do a pretty good job. The customization for RoboCop as a character, the upgrade system is very very well handled. The interaction with the characters, I think, is very good. There's plenty of very solid side missions. A good number of areas to explore. It's kind of like open. It's like open section explore. But I really did like it, and I'm pretty sure I reviewed that too. Sorry for everyone. What would I change about seven? Hmm. I don't think I changed anything about Real Seven. Real Seven is just fine the way it is. I wouldn't change it. That's the single most important video game I've ever played. So seven, I wouldn't change anything. Why do I hate Quantum Solace? I don't hate Quantum of Solace. It was just a pointless. Like the game, Quantum of Solace is pretty solid. The movie, it wasn't a good James Bond movie. Did anyone like Quantum of Solace? Does anyone even remember that movie? Like even within its own lore, no, like they didn't talk about it in later films in the Daniel Craig era. No one talked about that film. I mean, it was just not a great film, and it came out at the time when the writer strike was happening, so that's why the script was so bad. Which four characters? What would I take out? I think there's like a Yeti in there somewhere. There's like a Moogle, and I think there's like a grandpa and granddaughter pairing that like has a power with like paintings. And then there's like this jungle kid that you just run into. Like I just randomly get run of one of them. Like they don't add anything to the story. Like there's characters that something happened and they're like important to the story, and then there's like secondary characters that kind of show up like Shadow or and then there's characters that just jump in the party, but they don't add anything to their story. You're guessing the Yeti one, yeah. Would you accept it as a sequel to the first film? I Well, I mean, that movie already has sequels, so I guess you could count it as like an interwoven story. I mean, I acknowledge RoboCop's two and three. I mean, two's all right, and the funny thing is that two actually makes a somewhat appearance. Like RoboCop two is he's technically in the game. They actually make like a version of him, and he's in here as a boss. So you can't. So it's kind of interwoven between some of the games. It might take place like after RoboCop two, to be honest, because I'm like they have like a whoa, they got their own RoboCop two. Like they made other they made multiple versions of that. What do I think the next 10 games has the potential to be another? So far this year, I don't see anything this coming out this year that I see as a 10 out of 10. Like even Doom, Doom was my most anticipated game of the year, and even I wouldn't give that a 10. Like we'll play more of it, but right now I'm leaning more towards like an 8, 8.5. That's kind of where it's sitting at with me right now. Still fun, still great. I'd have to think whether I think it's like, do I think it's better than Doom Eternal? Well, I think its story gives it a slight edge, but like I think I would still pick Doom 2016 maybe. Does Quantum Assist feel like a James Bourne? No, it doesn't feel like that at all. It just feels like just an underwhelming on James Bond film. James Bond just never felt like Jason Bourne. I've never felt that about any James Bond film. Jason Bourne has a very distinct feeling, and it feels nothing like James Bond. Have I seen the 2020's food fight? It's no, I've not seen that. No, I'm not saying. Oh, Vamp. No, I'm fine with Shadow. I'm fine with Shadow and his dog. I'm just saying, like, I feel like Shadow's like a secondary character who isn't integral to the plot. Like, like, like he's not a Tara or a Sarah or a Lockett or an Edgar or a Sabin. He's not on that level. He's like secondary. There's like first tier characters and there's second tier characters and then there's characters just thrown in. Shadow feels more of like a second tier character, and he's someone you can miss. And that tells you like characters you can miss feel secondary. The characters that like you are going to get this character no matter how much you play. Those are first tier characters. Those are like you can't miss them. Like Vincent. Like Vincent has the airship, so you cannot miss him. Would you play Wolfenstein New Colossus again? Fuck yeah, I would. Those first two games were great, especially the second one. But the less we talk about the third one, the better. Did you know it is heavily implied the painter daughter is Shadow's daughter? I heard that rumor, but if it's not confirmed, then I'm not gonna go with it. Have I played Remaster of Shuriken? Shidoken? No, I have not. You just got done with your female writer in Andromeda. Fun times? Yeah, I've done a double run as a male and female writer, and I did the same thing with all the Mass Effects. No, no, Tara has no love interests. No, she does not. You watched the first Mortal Kombat movie? Well, how'd you like it? Jason Bourne versus Jack Reacher. I don't know. Which Jack Reacher are we talking about here? We talking about Tom Cruise or the Amazon one? Is New Colossus better than New Doom? I like the story for New Colossus better. I think the story is better. I think it has a better story. But then again, I haven't gotten far enough in the game. Like the story so far for Doom has been pretty average. It's not been anything amazing so far. It's pronounced Sheed Cade. Okay, well thanks for that. Think she would like. Yeah, I'm sure Cora would like Ahsoka. Amazing Jack Reacher versus Bourne. I'm sure Bourne could handle some giant meathead. I'm sure he could handle him. You watch the old Mortal Kombat movie, it's enjoyably bad. It's not bad at all. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. That movie is fucking awesome. That is awesome. That movie takes shits over the newer movie. I will defend that movie till my dying breath. Now, Annihilation, that is a crap movie. But that's like a guilty pleasure movie. There's like so much good about Mortal Kombat 1. I will defend that movie till the day I die. That is a generally good fucking movie. I would pay modern prices to see that in theaters again. Do you think a new Wolfenstein will come out? I think it needs to by now. It's been way too long, and we need to wipe the stench from that last one with the two daughters. I think Wolfenstein could. either I don't know if they'll continue the story from that game or they'll reboot it, but yeah, I think we're up for another Wolfenstein. No disrespect to Tom Cruise, but I think the Amazon guy, I think he's more like book accurate. Yes, Annihilation is bad, but like there's a couple of good things that I'll say. There's a couple of things about it I think are good. Not many, but there's just a couple of good things. From what I've heard and seen, two might be an improvement, but not by much. Not until I see it. Like I'll believe it when I see it. What other movies do you consider so bad it's good? It's so bad it's good? I don't know. I have to think about that. Who's your favorite voice actor? I don't know. I don't really have one. Maybe the first Mortal Kombat movie could have been better if it was rated R. No, I mean, to be fair, I don't. I'm going to be honest. I don't think that first movie needed blood. People were killed. Like, that was the thing about Mortal Kombat. It wasn't that it had blood, it's that people were killed. And you can't argue people were getting killed here. I mean, let's go down the list. That first black guy got his back broken and his soul sucked out. Scorpion got his head cut in half and he blew up. Sub-Zero got impaled. Shang Tsung got impaled. Reptile got stepped on. People were getting killed. And that was the whole point. That was the general difference between Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter. People were being killed in the first film. They were being killed. And some of them were, I mean, yeah. Kano got his neck broken. Okay, yeah, no one's getting their heads ripped off and their spinal cords. No one's getting their heart ripped out. But I'm like, the whole point is, are people being killed? Yes. So I don't think blood added anything. I don't think blood added anything in the newer ones. And that had fatality in blood. So I was just like, yeah, it's there, it's cool, but I'm like, it's proof you don't need all that blood and excess blood, and you can still have a pretty good Mortal Kombat movie. Plus, that would, at that time, a rated R Mortal Kombat movie probably would have flopped. Mortal Kombat, as it was back then, was a very successful film. I think making it rated R would not have worked. You have to remember, this was before the rating system came out. You have to remember that. Mortal Kombat was not, at the time when it was released, that was not rated M. This is definitely before the ESRB came out. So odds are, not as many people would have seen it, and that movie would have flopped. Even had they had blood. Like, even if it had been a little bit more violent, I don't think adding blood like that would have made the film significantly better. It was fine though it was. Plus, it had a kick-ass soundtrack, which went platinum, by the way, so... No, Scar is not as skilled as Master Chief. The Minecraft movie is so bad it's good. Well, I'm not into Minecraft. Where was I last week? I had to go work on something. I had a family emergency. It was pretty serious. But everything's all cool now. But back broken, soul sucked out. It did happen. Reptile got stepped on. Okay, if you haven't seen Mortal Kombat after you realize that movie is almost 30 years old? It'll be 30 years old next month. If you have not seen Mortal Kombat, that is your loss. Don't come to me about spoilers. That's like saying you haven't seen Star Wars. Like, even if you haven't seen Star Wars, you know what happens in Star Wars. You know all the main plots. Like, I haven't seen those... I mean, we won't talk about that. I didn't see Episode 9 Star Wars, but even I know what the fuck happened in there. I didn't need to go see it. You saw Thunderbolts movie, Fun Times. Devora has the most disgusting fatality. Maybe. Also, I'm in the second act of Mass Effect 3. Okay, that's awesome. I'm not in... It'll be 30 years old is not an excuse. What are you talking about? It's 30 years old. If you haven't seen it by now, then that's on you. Don't come at me. Give me a break, snap, snake. Yeah, that's a solid line. You haven't, you vampire, you lying son of a bitch. Don't tell me you haven't seen Star Wars. Don't tell me you haven't seen Star Wars. And even if you haven't seen Star Wars, you know what happens in Star Wars. Don't tell me that. That's like saying you haven't seen The Wizard of Oz or The Sound of Music. There are just some movies that, like, as a human being on this planet, you're like default to have seen. That's like saying you've never seen a Disney movie. Hell, terrorists in Saudi Arabia know what a Disney movie is. And they probably don't even watch it and they know what that is. What is the most memorable movie scene that I've ever seen? The most Well, I'll tell you this much. I won't give you memorable, but I will give you the funniest scene I've ever seen in a film. It was in 22 Jump Street. It was that scene where you find out that Jonah Hill had, like, slept with Ice Cube's daughter, but they didn't know it at the time, and they found out, and Jenny Tatum just completely lost it. That was I saw that in theaters. That got the biggest laugh I've ever heard in a movie experience. Ever. That is easily like one of the funniest scene I've ever seen in a movie. Ever. It's not even close. Have I seen any Final Destination films? Yes. I believe I've seen the second one and the third one. I don't think I've seen the first one, the fourth one, or Bloodlines. I don't think I need to see Bloodlines. I already know what happens. I mean, it has the same ending as they all do. So, like, do you need to see a Final Destination movie? They all literally have the same ending. Spoiler alert, everybody dies. Come at me. That's how they all end. They all die. That's the only ending you can have. That's not a spoiler. So would you prefer working for an Andromeda Initiative or the Empire? Oh, God, Andromeda Initiative, hands down. I'm sorry, I would not want to work for the Empire. You crazy? You don't get it? Man, I make one mistake, Invader chokes me out. Are you kidding me? I'll deal with a Kef threat any day. Star Trek? Really? Star Trek over Star Wars. I can't really agree with you there, man. I mean, Star Trek has its moments. I'm more of a Next Generation fan. And definitely Deep Space Nine. Deep Space Nine is pretty awesome. I didn't see Voyager. Funny Metal Gear Solid moments. Well, one funny moment is when Johnny shits his pants. I mean, that always makes me laugh. I won't complain. When Raiden goes, I, even I don't understand that. Butt naked cartwheels. Who's like that? Like, Kojima's had some really weird ideas, but that's got to be the weirdest. It's like, why didn't you just give him pants? Why does he have to be butt naked? Snake wasn't naked when he was getting tortured. He had pants on in his boots. Like, why do you gotta rip, like, all his clothes off? Oh, I'm sure they get killed off eventually. Have I read Star Wars Blacklight? No, I have not. Welcome to the stream, Jessica. Did you know that Final Fantasy VII's Disc 1 skip, you can keep Aerith in the party? Yeah, but what's the point? Aerith doesn't really... Like, the most useful thing that woman does is die, if we're being honest. Like, after she summons the Holy, like, whether she's there or not, it doesn't change the direction of the game, so... Oh, absolutely. Oh, absolutely. Metal Gear Solid 4 graphics? Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's why it's still my favorite PlayStation 3 game of all time. And that game is still locked on the PlayStation 3. And I've heard rumors that a lot of PlayStation 3 classics are going to be available for the PlayStation 5 soon. And 4 might be in there. Like, think about that. Like, that game came out is almost... that game is over 15 years old. And it is still locked on the PlayStation 3. I mean, that says something. Terminator 2 should have been the... Okay, I'm gonna be honest. Three gets a bad rap, but there's an element of three I really like. Salvation had move, the dumbest moment I've ever seen in a movie that like completely discredited Skynet. Uh, Genesis wasn't bad. I like Genesis. It's the only one where Arnold doesn't die. Spoiler alert. But Dark Fate is the worst. That I mean, it's one thing to fuck up your own film, but to fuck up the prior films, that's a different level. That is a cosmic level of battery. That dude pissing on you on Metal Gear Solid 2, I didn't think that was funny. I'm not into golden showers, are you? There's way too much Star Trek to get through all of it unless you could pause time. My brain could remember a lot. Yeah, I agree. Hey, what's up, Super Gaming? Welcome to the stream. Chillax, what are my thoughts of money one day go? Wait, what? What is my thoughts of money one day going digital means no more paying with physical cash? That sounds awful. The Empire makes zombie virus. I've heard about that, but I didn't read that, Jackie boy. I've heard of it, but I didn't read it. Why are Kojima games so highly? I don't know. Maybe it's a fetish he has. I don't know. I don't know the inner workings of Kojima's brilliant mind. I mean, dude, his mind is so brilliant, even he doesn't understand it sometimes. What do I think of Deep Space Nine? Deep Space Nine was awesome. I appreciate like the one thing I'll admire about Deep Space Nine is how the entire time, or at least most of it, focuses on the Dominion War, and I think that is a very very awesome period to explore. That's worth rewatching. The other seasons they kind of have like small phases, but Deep Space Nine is predominantly Dominion War, and there's a lot of really serious ideals and topics that they go over in a very mature way. I mean, it's that show and its writing. I'll say this: I don't. Deep Space Nine is probably my second favorite Star Trek season overall. I still prefer Next Generation over Deep Space Nine. But I will say this: I think Deep Space Nine has the best writing. I think it has the best writing. So I'll give it that. And I'll say this: Deep Space Nine also uses Worf the best. That's the thing. Like Worf is nothing but a punching bag in the Next Generation, but like they really do the best use of that character in Deep Space Nine. It's not even close. Like Worf was actually effective. He actually had multiple story layers. Do you think Star Wars could have been a horror game? No, I don't think that would have worked. Saying spoiler alert after spoiling. Kojima is a loon, and I love him. He's not a loon. That man is a brilliant man. I would. That man is a brilliant man. He's almost too brilliant for his own good. I'll just say that. Does Metal Gear Solid have themes that are difficult to talk about? I wouldn't say that. I just think a lot of them are political, but in a good way. They break them down, but it's nothing deep. Like it's not talking about like transgender or stuff like that. Nothing like that. It's mainly political. The fact that you were thinking about golden showers is already wrong. That's where I thought your mind was going. Because of Avatar movies, problem is I wish James Cameron made many more Certificate Mason movies. I don't know. Do I believe in... I won't even finish that one. Apparently, they're doing not only Future Stranding. I don't think a Death Stranding movie would work. I'll be honest. I don't think that would work. I don't think Death Stranding would work for the mass majority of audiences. I mean, I like Death Stranding 1, and I've actually been replaying it a bit. But that is not... But like this, it's not a game that I would want to play from beginning to end again. And if you're not familiar with Kojima's style of storytelling, you're not going to get into it. I hope, from what I've seen of Death Stranding 2 and what I've heard, they tighten it's they make a lot of improvements that I think I'll really appreciate with both the writing and the gameplay. So there's a lot of potential for the second game to be a lot more fun than Death Stranding was. Like the fun aspect really didn't appear until like the last third of the game, and I just felt that was too long. Spain invaded South Africa looking for gold and found a silvery metal. Not knowing what it was, they threw it away. Turns out this metal was platinum. I didn't know that. I agree with you. PlayStation 3 is my favorite PC system with super solid library. I will say this: PlayStation 3 is my favorite console generation, but no question, the PlayStation 2 probably has the greatest library of any console. Like, put Xbox, Nintendo, any generation, I think PlayStation 2 still has the best library of games. Even to this day. 3 and 4 and 5, they don't even touch 2. Kojima is a mad genius. Yeah, I can see that. Which is less confusing, Tenet or Death Stranding? Oh, definitely Tenet. Tenet's not that hard to understand. I can understand that. Like Tenet's understandable. Death Stranding's hard. Like Death Stranding, I had to watch a number of explain videos even for me. Like that was complex for me. Tenet, I could explain that. What is genius? A higher level of thinking. I don't know. Have I watched The Walking Dead show? I've watched a couple clips, but it's not my kind of show. If I'm being fair. Same thing with Game of Thrones. Like I've seen clips, but it's not my kind of show. Oh wow, man, we got 22 minutes left. How's my day? My day is going well. I went to the dentist to get a cleaning, and then tomorrow I'm gonna go see a surgeon after work to go work on something. It's nothing serious. It's just I heard Kojima in like 5 years wants to direct a film. He's wanted to say he's said that for a while. I know he wants to direct films. I'm not sure if he understands that there's a big difference between being a game director and a film director. I don't know. I mean, if he wants to give it a shot, go ahead. But like, unless he gets like a major property, I'm not sure if it would do very well. Because outside of the game industry, no one knows who Hideo Kojima is. Metal Gear Solid wouldn't work. Yeah, of course it wouldn't work. That's why the movie got canceled. It would work better as a series, like a 10-part series, an hour each. I think you could do any Metal Gear game justice. You could not tell a good Metal Gear Solid movie in 2 hours. You just could not. I'll be honest. Chillix, I'm surprised they haven't tried that. I was actually upset and shocked that they want to remake 3 first. I mean, technically they remade 1 with Twin Snakes, and I actually recently saw a copy of that in a retro game store. They were charging like $130 for that. I was just like, $130 for a GameCube game I can't even play? I mean, they're hard to find, but like $130? I don't know. But yeah, I would have imagined they would have remade the first 2 Metal Gear games. And I'm surprised they started with Metal Gear Solid 3 instead of Metal Gear Solid 1. What is the weirdest thing in Dragon Ball? The weirdest thing? I don't know. None of that stuff seems weird to me. It just different, but I wouldn't find it weird. I guess it's weird that power levels aren't really important anymore. Like that was such a big thing in the first 2 seasons. It's like, does anyone even? When was the last time you heard a character mention power levels? What if there was a final movie in the Metal Gear Solid series? No. Quentin Tarantino, he could not do a Metal Gear movie. Not even him. What's the dumbest moment in a movie or game? Oh, dumbest moment? Uh, I'll tell you this much. The dumbest moment I've ever seen in a movie was in Terminator Salvation when they revealed that not only had they captured Kyle Reese, they knew who he was and he was still alive. I was like, wait, let me get this straight. You know who Kyle Reese is, you have him alive, and you haven't killed him for the past 3 days because why? Like, the moment I saw that, Skynet lost all credibility as a threat. Like, I could never take Skynet serious again. But why? Why make cinematic experience for people? I don't know. I don't honestly. I don't think Metal Gear Solid's a popular enough franchise to be successful in theaters. It's not like a Mario or a Sonic. Like those are well known popular franchises. Metal Gear, even at its most popular, it's nowhere near that level. It's not as recent, and it's not as popular. I really don't think a Metal Gear movie would be very appealing to the broader audience. I don't think it would unless you attach a very popular name. Like if you announce that like James Cameron or Steven Spielberg or Christopher Nolan, like if you announce one of them were directing it, I think more people would see it just off of the name of the director. But I think the name itself, it's not strong enough in cinema. It just would. I don't think it would work. Do you think they remade Metal Gear Solid 3 first because it's the only one that started the story? That is a theory, but like, that's a theory, so which tells me like, if they keep remaking them, are they gonna remake 2 or 3? Like, because like the next one after it, that's Portable Ops. Then you got Portable Ops. Then you have Peace Walker. Then you have technically 5. So like, I was surprised they started with 3, and I would have expected them to go in numerical order. Not even him. No. Yeah, I don't think it would work. If no one has seen Lord of the Rings, I wouldn't blame them. It's not their thing. You don't have to see it, but you'd at least know the concept. Those tuna patties are good. All right, well, I'm glad you enjoyed them. I haven't had a tuna sandwich in a long time. Brian, what would you... Okay, what would you to folks who think Korra's biotic shield she did was ridiculous? It wasn't ridiculous. It's more believable for Dante to ride a rocket. Okay, here's the thing about Dante riding a rocket. Dante is not human. He's half human. He's kind of demon. So he has a number of physical abilities. So I would believe that. Like, trust me, I would believe Dante riding a rocket more than Solid Snake jumping off of a rocket fired at him. And I still thought that was cool, but I'm like, really? Solid Snake jumping off of a rocket that was fired at him? I mean, he must have insane reflexes, which he does, but yeah. What's the coolest vibe to a movie that I've ever seen? The coolest vibe? I don't know. The Matrix had a pretty cool vibe in the 90s. Does that count? Not sure who you would pick for a stealth mission. Solid Snake or Korra? Of course I pick Solid Snake. That's what he does. Chillax, do you think it would be even possible for them to do Metal Gear prequel set in World War II? You could, but the thing is that it would revolve. I mean, okay, could you do a Metal Gear Solid game prequel in World War II? The answer is yes. It would more likely revolve around the boss in the Cobra unit because we know she operated during that time. But I'm like, would you really want to do that? I'm not sure if that would work. I mean, it could. I mean, I'm saying there is a story, but like gameplay wise, like I don't know if that would be very appealing. You've just started RoboCop games so far. I'd only say it's quite good though. It'll get better. I promise you, it will get a lot better as you play through. Really thought you would favor. No. I love Korra, but I'm not gonna pick her for everything. The Matrix, a deeply psychological and physical cinematic experience. I guess. I mean, if That I get. I mean, I'm not sure what you mean by vibe. So that I was just like, I thought the Matrix was a pretty cool vibe at the time. We got 14 minutes before we jump into Doom. I'm sure the big Sony event they do in June, they'll announce a new Halo collection. Maybe. So they might do that. It's moments like that I wish we still had E3. I mean, how cool would it have been if, let's say, Microsoft dropped out of E3 for whatever reason, or maybe they don't, and then Sony comes out, they do their press conference, and it says, "Wait, we got one more announcement. A popular first-person shooter franchise will be coming over to the PlayStation for the first time." And on a Sony stage, you have Master Chief come out. Oh my god, the place would have exploded. Probably better than what happened to what Sony did to Microsoft in 2013. And I was actually there. I was at, like I found actually I found this. I've actually found it. I was looking for this and I found it. I found my E3 pass. It's a little. Yeah. I was media for E3. I was actually there in the crowd when that announcement happened for the PlayStation 4. I was there. That was the moment Microsoft died. Like you could actually draw a line. That was when the Xbox died. And like we're now seeing the final results of it. Like you could draft this moment all the way back to that E3 conference moment. Like you really could. Like after that, the Xbox never recovered. Logically, I would assume no, I wouldn't. Which do you prefer in terms of horror aspect, Dead Space or Resident Evil 4? Dead Space. If we're talking horror environment, Dead Space. It's not even close. Dead Space 2, look, put it like this. I would pick it's not even fair to pick Dead Space. It would be Dead Space 2. Dead Space 2, for me, is better than Resident Evil 4. And they're both 10 out of 10 games. Dead Space 2 is my fourth favorite video game of all time. Resident Evil 4 is number 5. My top 5 are MGS3, Final Fantasy X, MGS4, Dead Space 2, and Resident Evil 4. Those are my top 5 favorite video games of all time. But I do think Dead Space is a lot scarier than Resident Evil. Can I draw? I'm not very good at it. I tried it once. I had a drawing class when I was in college. Which, funny thing, I actually found like a lot of my like certificates for that. It was funny. It was funny kind of going down memory road. Final Fantasy X was my first Final Fantasy. Became obsessed. I loved that. Yeah, it is still my favorite JRPG of all time, and it probably has my favorite soundtrack to this day. And not like just the battle themes. Like there's so many songs in that game I think are just beautiful to listen to. How did you speculate core? Wait, how did I? Yeah, I mean, I guess. I mean, when I had to. I mean, I used her on most of my missions, I would say. I don't really remember. I'd have to go back and check my stats of how I set her up. You saw that they already cast who was going to play. I don't know. Whoa, hang on. They haven't announced. They've had cast members, but I don't think anyone's been officially cast as a character. We can make assumptions. Like they've shown like 3 people, Like I think it's that guy, that main guy from Warrior, Roman Reigns, and Jason Momoa. I was like, who the fuck are they gonna play? Like I mean I guess that one guy might be Ryu. That's what I would pick, but that has not been made official. We're making assumptions. What the fuck's Roman? Who's he gonna be? Oh, yeah, Jackie, but there's gonna be a stream. It's not a mystery stream. We're doing Doom. I announced that at the very beginning. Yeah, I'm playing through Doom. Is Dead Space scary? Yes. No, better atmosphere. It has a. Here's the thing about Dead Space has a more psychological element that Resident Evil never had. Like that, like it doesn't affect you in that way, and it went way more action. Like I would even say, action wise, like if we're compared Dead Space 3 to like something like Resident Evil 5 and 6, Dead Space 3 is still a way better game, despite it being like the weakest of the main trilogy of games. And it's a okay. You're not sure if you think Cora will get along with folks. I don't know. I wouldn't mix Mass Effect characters with Metal Gear. Who the fuck is Jason Momoa gonna be? He cannot be Blanca. Who the fuck? Unless they're going down the new Mortal Kombat route while they're having these people be like movie exclusive characters that aren't video game characters. If they're going down there, who the fuck is they gonna be? Which fighting game is more overrated, Street Fighter or Tekken? Tekken is for amateurs, so that's more overrated. I mean, I'm a Mortal Kombat person, so I have vowed never to touch a Street Fighter game. But even I will admit, when I was a kid, I did play Street Fighter 2 in the arcade. Like that's the only Street Fighter I will play, and that's because I actually acknowledge how legendary it is. But as a Mortal Kombat, it would be an act of treason to touch a Street Fighter game. You can't play both, in my opinion. You gotta pick one. You can't play both. It don't feel right. That is an act of treason here. And I am very serious about that. I have never touched a controller that was connected to a Street Fighter game. I've looked at Street Fighter gameplay. It's looked interesting, but I'm like, Brian, we cannot touch Street Fighter. We Mortal Kombat, it would be wrong. We made this promise a long time ago. We cannot touch Street Fighter. We can acknowledge that other people have fun with it, but we cannot touch that. Ironically, I have played Dead or Alive, but that was a long time ago. And if it's not Injustice, which I'm sure that's the next fighting game that's going to come out of the NetherRealm Studios, but like, we cannot touch Street Fighter. How would you compare Dead Space to early Resident Evil games? It shits all over those games. Those 3 games are awful. Those first 3 Resident Evil games are shit. And I am what I call myself a Generation 2 Resident Evil fan. My first Resident Evil game was 4. I played 4, 5, and 6 and Revelations, then went back and played the original first 3 games, and I couldn't play them. Those games are shit. And here's the thing I found out. They were programmed to be awful. Those tank controls with those lock camera angles make that game completely fucking broken and unplayable. I don't know how people like that shit. Now, I acknowledge that the tank controls are still in Resident Evil 4, but they have the overback shoulder, which makes it work. I cannot play those first 3 games, which is why when they remade those games, at least the second game, it was actually good. My only complaint with the remake was that entire first police station section. That was a complete fucking maze. But once I got out of that police station, then the game got really good. Like, this is Resident Evil how I want to play it, which is why I want a Code Veronica game first. They should have made Code Veronica first before even touching 4. I would love to play a Code Veronica game, but those first 3 games are fucking awful. I don't give a shit what anyone says. Those are some of the worst games I've ever tried to play. Like, I couldn't get through an hour of that shit. I was like, how the fuck did people even play this? The controls are broken, and they were programmed that way. What company intentionally makes awful controls. That is the worst enemy in those games. It ain't the zombies, it ain't the dogs, it ain't the BOWs, it ain't the lickers, it ain't Nemesis, it's the fucking controls. Your controller is the greatest enemy. That is your enemy. If you can't beat the controller, you can't beat these games. I don't know how these people are beating these games, but they must be cheating somehow. There must be some magical technique or code that you're typing in, or I don't know, hacking to make these games playable. That's why the only way I even understood those stories is by playing the on-rail games. That is the only way I even discovered what the plots were for those games were. Wonder who would play E Honda. I don't know. I don't know who would play him. Have I ever played any Marvel vs. Capcom game? I think once in an arcade, but it was too wacky for me. So my writer run female shoot romantic PB. Alright, that's good. Mine did too. You played Dead or Alive 5 fan service is pretty good. I'm losing my shit. What are you talking about? You're losing your shit. In Mass Effect, I wouldn't cast him. I wouldn't do a Mass Effect movie. No Mass Effect movies. You played Dead or Alive 5, it's decent, but it's not close to top 3. You know, that's another game. I did try Soul Calibur in college, but that was mainly to test out the Star Wars characters. Like, we had a project where we had to test out controls, and then we had to do something with it. And like, in Soul Calibur, I think 4 came out at the time with the Star Wars characters. They had like Yoda, Starkiller, who was everywhere, and Vader. So, lost mine a long time ago. I bet you did. All right, we got a couple more minutes before we jump into Doom. I hope most of you will be there. Remember, if we get 10 viewers, the camera comes on, so hopefully you'll see me freak out. I haven't died yet, though. I mean, I've lost a couple lives, but I technically have not gotten a game over screen yet. And I will say this, I did not think this game would have 22 chapters. That seems a lot. I would have expected 15 or 16, but 22 chapters? Damn. Even I'm like, wow, that's long. What? Where do you think the next Assassin's Creed game? I have no idea. I got my Feudal Japan game. I cannot think of where to go next. I don't have a clue. I don't know where you could go. Where haven't we gone? I mean, maybe the Civil War and you'll play as like a former slave. Like, that's... But it would have to be at a time where, like, firearms aren't, like, a big thing. Like, there has to be some aspect of melee combat. And I think that the Civil War is about as far as you could go. Have I watched the Jason Bourne films? Of course I have. Maybe Assassin's Creed could take place in Africa. Maybe they could do that. But here's the thing. If it was in Africa, you can't have a parkour element. Like, there has to be some kind of, like, city infrastructure. They all have cities. So, like, if you set it in Africa, Africa didn't have cities. It didn't have big cities to do parkour. And, like, there has to be an element of parkour. Mirror's Edge, first one, yay. Didn't like the second one. I own the first game. A lot of people don't talk about that game. Okay. All right, Zach. This is gonna be my last question before I have to jump into Doom. But interrogation, you don't need to interrogate me. I'll tell you anything you want to know. What do you want to know? I'll tell you. You don't have to interrogate me. Interrogate intends that there's information I don't want them to know. If Anakin Skywalker or Corey ask me a question about something, I'll tell them whatever they want to know. They don't got to interrogate me. Just ask. All right. Well, okay. We're at 5:30. We're jumping into Doom. I will be on Doom in about 5 minutes. This is a great live stream. Hopefully we do another one next week around the same time. So thank you guys for the awesome stream. I will be jumping into Doom. Hopefully some of you guys will be there. Tell all your friends I'm playing Doom. Remember, we get 10 viewers and the camera comes on, which is a good thing. So, again, thank you guys for watching. You're awesome. Remember, you guys have any more video ideas, just let me know what you want to see in the comments, and I will see you guys in about 5 minutes.